Hello everyone and welcome to our opposition Q&A. I'm pleased to be joined that side of me on your screen. I've got Soph with me from the Hairdryer Treatment. Soph, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Still gutted about yesterday's result against PSG, but I'm all good. I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm alright actually. I'm feeling good about our game on Saturday, but we'll get on to that in a second. I want to pick your brains about your team first of all, Man United. What's your thoughts on your season so far to this date?
Inconsistent. I think that's the word that sums us up. You never know quite what Manchester United are going to turn up. Like I say, we've proven at times we can play football going forwards in particular, but defensively we're so over the place. I do not trust that we are not going to concede a goal in every game that we play at the moment. We're just so vulnerable at the back. But yeah, inconsistent just sums us up right now.
How are you feeling about you're miles away from the title challenge? I mean, have you accepted as a Man United fan that sort of like top four is a success?
Yeah, I think last season we got top. Obviously, we got third, but last season was one of these seasons where everybody just kept bottling it, and we kind of crawled into that top four place. Like we crawled there really. It was a bit of luck that went our way. Like I say, everyone was bottling it. This season is already proven. Like Chelsea investing, Spurs having a good start to the season. It's not going to be as easy. So if we get top four, for me, I think that is a big accomplishment. I really do. And like I say, we have to be more consistent if we want to get there because we're too inconsistent at the moment. You can't rely on us. Can't trust us defensively, and I think top four will be a big achievement if we get there.
Your manager's under, he's been under pressure somewhat since he signed his permanent contract, if you like, but he's coming up again with sort of questionable results and stuff. Where do you sit on the whole Ollie in, Ollie out thing?
I want to firstly say I don't agree with the reactionary side of it. Like if we win, Ollie in; if we lose, Ollie out. Because I'm seeing that a lot across the fan base, and I do not like that. I think you make a judgment over time. I agree with the criticism he's getting. I mean, for example, against PSG, you're looking at Fred and thinking, how has he stayed on in that second half? It was obvious he was going to get a red card. Went and got that, and it's ultimately cost us the result, the game. And now it looks like we could be out of the Champions League unless we pull something out of the bag. But what I will say about Ollie is when the going does get tough, when he needs that result, we've been getting the results, and I think he deserves credit in that sense. But I think tactically he's yet to prove himself. Is he the man for now? I'd say yeah, but long term, I think he's yet to prove himself tactically, to prove himself to be good enough for Manchester United. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and be Ollie out. I'm going to be on the fence a little bit and say that I think he deserves the criticism. But of course, I want to sit here and hope that he turns it around, hope that he gets more targets in January and shuts a lot of people up. That's what I want to happen, ideally.
Being on the fence is all right. I'm like that with David Moyes, actually. I'm neither in or out. And some people always say, well, what are you? And I'm like, well, I'm neither, really. I've got sort of one foot in each camp a little bit. So I'm comfy getting splinters for now. Thank you very much. And I require more evidence before proceeding to get off the fence.
Exactly, yeah.
I think it's all right to be neither sometimes, and it always seems to be perceived on sort of what you want to call football Twitter or football YouTube. It's like, well, you're that or you're that, and you can't be both. Well, actually, you can be both if you want.
Yeah, it's just so reactionary. Like, just because your team doesn't win or get the result that you want, it doesn't mean you have to want the manager to get sacked. It doesn't mean it has to be manager out. Like, the manager can turn it round. He can turn it round. And that's what I'm hoping Ollie does. We are in a tough patch, I agree with that. I think not getting the likes of Sancho as well in the summer didn't help, because I think that was obvious that was Ollie's target. We didn't get him. Van der Beek came in, there's questions over whether he was an Ollie signing. Don't get me wrong, I love him as a player, but then you're looking, where is he going to fit in? Was he a priority? He wasn't. And I've already mentioned defensively how vulnerable we look. We were desperate to sign a centre-back. We didn't do that. So I understand the criticism, but at the same time, I think you have to look at it from the outside and think, you know what, Ollie, he hasn't got the targets that he was looking at. Yes, we're not playing the right football. Defensively, we're letting in stupid goals, but it makes you think, if we did get that target, would it have been different? And we keep going back to it, but the board and the lack of structure at the club in terms of investing in players, in terms of the players that we're scouting, the nature of the players, everything just seems wrong. Everything from the top seems wrong, and Ollie is the front of that ultimately.
I was going to ask that. Where are some of these players, Paul Pogba in particular, and Van der Beek? Where are they? Why is Ollie not playing them?
Pogba's a frustrating one. I think Van der Beek, maybe he's trying to embed him in. Maybe he's thinking he doesn't want to start it too soon. Also, does he fit in with Bruno Fernandes? In certain games, you've seen he does, but in every game, is that balance right? In terms of Paul Pogba, I've said this numerous times. I think you could probably count on both hands the amount of good games that he's had at Manchester United, and that for a player of his ability, it's simply not good enough. And I'm not sitting here saying I want Pogba to go. I'm going to say the same thing that I said about Ollie. I hope Pogba turns it round and he focuses on his football. But the thing that I can't be dealing with is the little comments that you hear where he's flirting with other clubs or the circus and the drama that comes with him. I just want Paul Pogba to play football. We know he can do that. We just need him to focus on that. So As long as he wants to be at Manchester United, I'm happy to keep him there. We need to get better from him, and we need Ollie to get the best out of him.
And before I pick Soph's brains about West Ham and get her opinions on Moyes and the way we're playing, do me a favour, go subscribe to her channel, the Hairdryer Treatment, YouTube, Google it, the link's in the description, go over there, subscribe. It's my favourite Man United channel. There's only 2 of them I like, so it was a 50-50.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I'll take that, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the title challenge for something, I guess.
The only one I will be in, yeah.
But West Ham, what's your thoughts on West Ham in our season so far?
I don't rate David Moyes, obviously. I'm going to sit here and say that. But decent start to the season, I'll be honest. And I mean, if is Antonio fit against us at the weekend? Because if he is, that worries me. Him running up against the likes of Maguire, Lindelof can be bullied physically as well. But yeah, I think West Ham fans will take their start to the season. I still think there's improvements. You've got fans back in, I believe, at the weekend as well, which I think will help. But yeah, I think as a West Ham fan, I'll be fairly satisfied because the last few seasons, obviously, you've been fighting to stay up in the Premier League. This season, it seems more on the front foot, more positive. You seem to have more of a plan in place. I mean, as a West Ham fan, would you say it's a fair summary that last few seasons you've been struggling? This is the strongest you've looked for a while, really.
Is there, apart from Antonio, is there anyone that gives you the fear factor, if you like? Is there anyone at West Ham you look at and think, yeah, I wouldn't mind him at Man United, or he's a decent player, or that? What players do you admire from our team?
I think Declan Rice is a great player. I know it's been linked to us many a time, but I just think he's the heart and soul of West Ham. You can see he's the leader on the pitch. He drives you forward. He's learned from Noble. You can see that in the way that he plays as well. He's got that leadership about him, hasn't he? And I think he's just a great player, and I think he will be for England as well in the future. So he has to be one I have to mention. But obviously you've got the likes of Soucek as well. Height. Going to be difficult on set pieces. We've saw against PSG. We can see some scrappy goals in the box. Defensively, I just don't trust us. I do not trust us. And any players like that who are going to be physical, yeah, Declan Rice for me, I think he's the heart and soul. Soucek is another one I think off set pieces we should be concerned about.
Would you like Declan Rice at Man United?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think you saw with the likes of Fred yesterday. Fred isn't good enough on the ball, and I think that's what Declan Rice does bring. He brings that calmness in the middle, but he can ping a ball. We've seen what he can do. His technical ability is sublime, and I just think that we need some composure in the middle. Somebody who's going to keep the game ticking over. Fred, for me, is a bit too erratic doing that. He's great at winning the ball back, but when he gets it, quite often he gives it away.
Interesting. Now, our game Saturday night, are you feeling confident?
Nope. I can't remember the last time I said I was feeling confident, to be honest with you. Look, it's Premier League, there's no easy game. There's no easy game at all. And especially when it's Manchester United, it's always a cup final. Teams are always up for it. West Ham always seem to be up for it against us as well, which is infuriating. But we need to bounce back. We need to bounce back, and we need to bounce back quickly. And I think this is a massive game for multiple reasons. One, because if we lose this game, we kind of feel like we're going into that lull again and that run where we're not going to pick up points. But if we win this game, then obviously we focus on the positives. We had a good result against Everton, obviously beating West Bromwich Albion. The results we've had in the Champions League have been very up and down. I don't want this PSG result to dampen our spirits too much. Because to be fair, I thought that we played fairly well. We just didn't take our chances. But that's one thing we need to do. If we do not take our chances against West Ham, we'll be punished.
Final question. Can I push you for a score prediction, please, Soph?
I'll never back against my team, so I'm going to say 2-1 win to Manchester United. I think it'll be tight, and I still think we'll concede because, like I said, I do not trust us. I'm just hoping that we've got enough quality going forward to just nick it.
I'm still confident. I think we're going to beat you. I can
understand why. I can understand why.
I think we're going to beat you well too. I'm going to go for 3-1 West Ham. I'm going for 3-1. And the fact that you've just spoke about Soucek and you're sort of fragile at set pieces stuff just gives me even more hope, because that is our strength actually. We are very good at the set pieces, so you've just enhanced my confidence. I'm going to stick with 3-1. Listen, Soph, thank you very much for popping on. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for sharing your time with us. And if you guys at home, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new to this channel, but also go check out Soph on YouTube over at the Hairdryer Treatment as well. And myself and Gonzo, we'll catch you in a bit.